been a while since you have seen the old boy. I had a lot happen to me in 2023, and I had a lot of time to think. So let's just talk about what happened to me first of all. I had back surgery at the end of last year. I spent most of last year sitting in the chair right over there and having everybody else be my hands because I had to have a spinal fusion as well as a what's the other thing? Decompression. And I am just getting back on my feet because the two people here with me, Adam, who you'll meet soon, and Akira, we were supposed to do this weeks ago, but back surgery is a long recovery, folks, and you're at the mercy of your body, right? So take care of your back, take care of your body, because when you reach my age, apparently it's just a cutoff, and you just start breaking down. So, what are we doing here? So we're gonna go to a new format with the channel. My how-to videos were fun and informational, right? You probably learned a few things, but we're entering a new stage in cannabis in the state of New Jersey as well at the federal level. And we need to start talking about the issues because if you do not become an educated cannabis consumer, you will be easy to be taken advantage of because these corporations rely on your ignorance of the cannabis industry to make their money. So we are going to do a few things, right? We are going to break down the cannabis industry on state and federal level. We're going to talk about laws. We're going to talk about regulations. We're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about labor. We're going to talk about mental health. Maybe some of it will be funny. That's not my responsibility because I don't consider myself funny. But my buddy Alex is hilarious. And the story of how Alex ended up here is pretty funny itself. So, but as we go, we're going to grow this show. As you can see, it's a little rough right now because all of our equipment is just stuff that we already had. But that's how you start anything. You just start, right? And we've already had a lot of interest in this because I wouldn't be doing this unless there was a need to do it. I don't like being a public face of anything, but nobody else was going to do this, right? In my industry, which is the smoke shop industry, which I've been doing for about 14 years now, it's changing a lot, right? There's globalism has come for the smoke shop industry. It started years ago, but it's metastasized now. A lot of the shops that I went to as a kid, like Artifacts or Wonderland, these places are closing up shop, man, because the average consumer has no idea why they should use American glass, right? It's more expensive for one, but there's plenty of reasons why you'd want to buy American when it comes to your smoking products. And we're going to cover that too. So let me introduce Mr. Alex, who's sitting next to me here. Alex, tell us what you've been up to in the last year or so.
So I appreciate you for having me here. I appreciate it here, and always good to be at the Scyfli smoke shop here. This is one of the ones that I grew up off, by the way, in addition to Wonderland and Artifacts and stuff like that. But for about the last year, I've been doing comedy. I started doing comedy in Philadelphia, just going to open mics and stuff like that. And it's kind of caught on. It's been going good. I've been getting really lucky. You know what I mean? And I've been, the people are laughing. So it's like, I kind of knew all along in my whole life that comedy was something I was supposed to be doing.
You're brave.
And so I gave it I finally did after 32 years, you know what I mean? I gave it a shot and it's going good. So I'm having so much fun and it's going good. I'm performing all around the city and stuff. So a lot of comedy.
Alex is being modest. Okay. Alex performs mostly in front of black audiences, which is a little harder.
Mostly.
Harder than most audiences. If you remember Showtime at the Apollo, if you weren't funny, they would come out with a hook and pull your ass off stage. Okay, so
the Sandman.
when I started developing this podcast, I had a partner who wasn't able to participate at the end. And the same day he told me he couldn't participate, Alex walked in. And Alex has been my customer for a very long time. He's worked with my brother, who we will meet eventually. My brother is Brian. Uh, he walked in. He hadn't been in a long time. So, I'm not a religious guy, but I believe every now and then you get signals from the universe. So he walks in, and we start talking. He goes, I'm an up and coming comedian now. I've had a few shows." And I'm like, I was shocked, right? Because why would a comedian walk in that very second that I needed somebody? So Alex, I immediately asked Alex to join me here, right? And you're going to see our kind of relationship develop. Because me and Alex are acquaintances, right? But we haven't done much hanging out. But I feel people's energy, and he has good energy, and he deserves a spot here because I needed somebody to be a partner, and he's an excellent partner. All right. So as we kind of develop this show, Alex is going to have his little section, right? We're going to give him a spotlight because eventually you're going to want to go see this guy. But we will give you opportunities to come and visit with us. We're going to do events, local events. On 420, we will likely be at Daylight Dispensary, which is on 73, right across the street from where my shop is. Um, and we'll be out there a couple hours, but we want you to be able to approach us, ask questions, and give us feedback because I don't know. I know a lot of what the major questions are, but there's always room for more. So don't be afraid to comment questions. You can call me at the shop or whatever you want, but we want this to be your show as much as it is ours.
Yeah.
We have a lot of guests that will be coming over, the next month or so. We have people in the medical field. We have people in the grow field. We have dispensary owners, grow op owners. We have legacy weed sellers. We have old cats that have been protesting in front of the state house for 20 years. We are going to lift the lid off this industry for you. Smoke shop, cannabis, all of it, because I want somebody to open one of these shops again like mine. A lot of gas station shops popping up all over the place with cheap glass, cheap products. These people buy them because look, things are tight right now, right? I don't blame anybody
Right, a
for
little $10 bowl or something like that, if as long as it works.
I mean, $10 bowls have a place in the industry, right? For kids, but not kids. Right? We don't sell to kids around here. 21 and up. But types are for everybody, and you need from $6 to several thousand, right? It's a continuum. So I don't besmirch foreign glass. But
Besmirch. No.
Alex, I have a very good vocabulary.
Nice. I'm here for that. I love it.
I'm gonna say, listen, if you guys don't understand the word, this is what my nephew does. He said, "What's that word?" And I try. Actually, no, I rarely know the actual definition to the word because he'll say, "My nephew is smart as shit. He'll turns 11 in it."
The kids are scary smart
Yeah.
nowadays.
He asks me stuff. I'll say a word. What did I say the other day? I'm not going to remember. But he asked me. What's that? I sometimes know the definition, but when somebody asks you something and you know it, but as soon as they ask you it, your brain just goes left and forgets it. I have ADHD, by the way, which you'll realize eventually.
Same, I believe you.
I jump off topic. But the thing about neurodivergence, as we're called now, we tend to get along.
Yeah.
Because we have the same brains, right? My brother, he has ADHD too. We're best friends. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Getting a little off topic. So let's just go over, a quick list of some of the other things we're going to talk about. And Alex, I am going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Let's just let me see here. By the way, This is awkward. Okay. I feel awkward. I'm an awkward person. Why am I looking at the microphone? I don't know. I got to get used to this guy. I got to get used to where you are and where I don't need to be looking. This is a mic, not a camera. Okay. Alex,
Yes.
let me ask you something. Have you ever seen Reefer Madness?
No, but I've heard about it.
Reefer Madness, guys, is a movie from the 30s. And it was when it was around the time marijuana first became a prohibited product. And if you haven't seen this film, we will eventually take a look at it. But you have to watch this.
Yeah.
Okay? 'Cause first of all, it is the complete opposite of what it is like to smoke weed. These people go into instant psychosis.
It's like a propaganda.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And the thing is, everything that followed that up until we started legalizing things was basically a lie, right? Cannabis hasn't killed anybody as far as I know. The only way it can kill you is if a lot of it like falls on your head, or maybe it causes you to be in another situation. But cannabis will not kill you, right? Alcohol can kill you.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of people with alcohol problems.
Or at the very least, you get into a fight at the wherever, you know what I mean, or crash your car into such and such.
I've never heard of a cannabis brawl. But who would you rather sit next to? An extremely drunk person or an extremely high person? Right? High person every time. And that kind of hypocritical nature of people that are fine with alcohol but have an issue with marijuana, that makes my head explode. Because that's hypocritical, man. Right? If you're drinking beer or whatever it is, it's to each his own. But you cannot have an opinion about marijuana because it's less dangerous.
Much less, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Now, I have had, let's just say, substance abuse problems in the past, and marijuana is a great kind of. I had to get closer to the mic. My producer's telling me. Where was I? Substance abuse. Oh man, substance abuse. But I've had issues in the past, and eventually you get tired of that kind of stuff, right? But marijuana helped me move past this stuff, right? It's what they call harm reduction, right? You know what harm reduction is?
I do, and particularly with marijuana as the thing that, yeah, maybe we'll get into this later, but I've had issues of my own and stuff like that. And I remember marijuana was helping me out, but the people that were in charge of or the people that were helping me at the time with my recovery were against it. You know what I mean? They were like, "Oh, well, you're not doing it right because you're smoking weed still, or it came up in your blood, or whatever." You know what I mean? But I found that it really does help, especially when it's extreme and it gets bad.
Complete abstinence is what that's what, if you go to rehab or something, they always, complete abstinence is the only answer. It's bullshit.
And then what's the percentage, if you go complete abstinence? And it's a lot like the marijuana thing, the war on drugs. It's like, can you really beat it? Like, you want to go complete abstinence, but then how much is, how many people end up just going back in and out of rehab?
Oh yeah. It's a vicious circle, right? Because these people aren't, a lot of these rehab places, they're not interested in actually fixing you. They're
big money
they're
too. That is
interested in making sure you come back eventually, right? Because the complete abstinence is not possible for a lot of people, right? Especially somebody like me, man. I need something. My brain is racing all the time. So there is a legitimate medical need for marijuana at sometimes, right? There's no legitimate medical need for alcohol anymore, right? Unless it's antiseptic for a wound or some shit.
Or feed it to a baby when his teeth are crying.
Alex, you can't do that anymore. I'm gonna call CPS on
Old
you.
school. I've been accused of being the CPS guy.
Guys, who thinks Alex looks like a cop?
Like, he's here to get your kids. He's here to arrest us all.
If Alex showed up at your front door and was like, "Yo, can I buy some weed?" Would you A, close the door in his face and say, "The cops is here," or B, would you sell him some weed? The answer is B, because he was telling me some stories earlier And the black community is a suspicious community, man. So he ends up in situations where he's meeting somebody for the first time, and they're nervous as fuck around him.
Right, yeah. I'm the police, or it's like, oh, hello, officer. I do get a lot and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, well,
But take it from me, Alice is not an undercover police officer.
no, I'm not.
He's
But
just
that's
like,
just what one would say. So damn it.
But you take it from me, he's not, and he is he's a pothead, okay, just like me. And when you're a former addict, you have a lot of great stories, which we'll get to at some point. Because I've also been in a couple rehabs myself, and it can be a fun time, especially if you're committed to getting well. But that is neither here nor there. That is one of the things we're going to talk about, though, okay? Because by hearing our story, we might help somebody, right? Because the world is a lot more addictive than it used to be, right?
Oh yeah.
Don't ever put a white powder up your nose anymore, guys, because there's a time when that would say, no, don't do it anymore, because apparently it will all kill you. But we come from a time where we experimented a lot with these things. Who remembers the DARE program, Alex?
Yes.
I still remember my first DARE experience. I could not wait to check all those out myself, right?
All those drugs out that they taught you about. Yeah.
There were some that I knew I wasn't going to try. I was never going to put a needle in myself.
Right.
But insufflation is fun. And you'll have to look up what insufflation means. I am not going to tell you. But the G's out here know what insufflation is. Okay, we might have to cut this part. Anyway,
that's okay.
So, guys.
They're bringing back DARE? Is that where you were going with the DARE?
Oh, yeah. So DARE's coming back. Hopefully they have learned from their mistakes, because my thing about DARE and the war on drugs. Who won the war on drugs, Alex, by the way?
In the people versus the drugs, the war. I guess drugs have won, because you can't really ever defeat it. Yeah, but it's people and drugs kind of go hand in hand. Yeah,
no, drugs won. Drugs won the war on drugs. Okay, because listen, the more you make something illegal, the more people want to try this shit, man. It is basic psychology. You ever tried to stop your child from doing something, right? That looked fun to them? And you're like, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. First of all, until I was about 25, I was invincible, completely invincible. I could do anything, right? But my interest in drugs started with the DARE program, man. So I really hope they got their shit together, and maybe they just take marijuana off the list, DARE, okay? Because there's legitimate medical reasons that this plant is necessary. This is not new stuff, right?
Right.
How long do you think humans have been using marijuana, Alex?
Like as long as they've. I often wonder about the first person to come across it and be like, "Oh, let me smoke it," or like, who thought that? Or who was going around smoking plants until they found marijuana.
Oh yeah, because I imagine some people died trying to do that.
Right, smoking poison sumac.
Poisonous plants out there.
Roll up a big fat joint of poison sumac.
Listen, if you can hear us, first human that smoked weed, if your spirit is up there, I want to thank you, because
you took one for the team. Big risk.
One for the team, because you could have died instantly, bro. But thousands of years, guys. So marijuana has been around thousands of years. I believe the earliest record of marijuana is in China, I believe.
Wow.
I think they found it in like a burial or something. I don't fucking know. Look this stuff up yourself. You got a computer. But it's been around forever, guys.
Yeah.
And our bodies have a system called an endocannabinoid system, right? The endocannabinoid system that everybody has is basically a set of receptors in your body that match up with the cannabis plant, right? Why do we have that? Why would we have that in our bodies, right? It's almost like we're supposed to use it. Shamans, medicine men, These were the first people to probably recognize the healing properties of this stuff, right?
Very true, and I imagine they were doing mushrooms and, like, juice that they would sit in a corner for a year and that kind of stuff too, like the
Bro,
mold and all
the
that.
people that were trying mushrooms, that's a much higher fatality rate.
Right, right. But the shamans back in the day, like, if you drink that whatever and then you go on a journey and stuff,
Oh,
yeah, or
yeah.
whatever it is.
Ayahuasca and peyote and all that stuff. Listen, humans have been using mind-altering substances since the first goddamn caveman, right?
The special honey that makes you trip or whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, all that random stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the Himalayas.
Okay, yeah.
There is, I think it's I forget what kind of bug it is, but there's some bug or something the bees get into that makes you trip. All right, this is some expensive stuff too, but I've seen it on the internet now.
Where the dudes climb up with ropes up the side of a cliff and get it. Yeah, yeah. And when you get close to it, the bees all flick up like, and they do make like a wave pattern. Yeah, which is cool.
Dangerous. Okay, first
you get fucked up by those bees up top.
They're honeybees
on the side of that cliff.
What? Nepal. Okay, Nepal. Right. You learn something every day. One, I could not go on a mountain and hang off anything to get, because I have an extreme fear of heights, guys. One of my many fears that I developed as an adult. Remember, I was invincible for many years. Wow. But now I'm afraid of claustrophobia, heights. What do you have any?
Well, claustrophobia is one that I thought about recently the other day. I forget what it was, but I was watching something online, and it was these people going down a slide, like a long slide, but then they got stuck in the middle, and I just remember that being so scary to me. Like, damn, and the water was coming or something. It was like that, yeah. And it gave, just from watching it, it gave me like, I was like, ooh, like you're in the tube and you can't get out and shit. It's like you got this and the water's coming. Yeah,
I was my wife took me to Disney World for my 40th birthday. I don't have no damn kids, so it was just me and her. But I got on. We were in Epcot Center, and they got this space ride.
Yes, Mission to Mars,
bro. First of all, the line into the ride was claustrophobic. So before we get on the ride, I'm already like, where can I get out? Where's the nearest egress? Then I got in, bro. I panicked the entire ride. I didn't want to scare the people next to me, so I just shut my eyes and panicked privately. But I got claustrophobia, so that there's nothing to do with this show. But if you have claustrophobia, there's ways to get by it. We could talk about that another time. The bees. Oh, we're gonna see the bees.
Wow!
Look at this dude. Look at that.
That's a rope ladder.
That just have to stay there for me.
Yeah.
I wonder how much these guys get paid, because the honey is like $69.
For the record, does the honey get you hot? Okay.
Like mad honey, psychoactive, consumed in large quantities.
What's a large quantity? Like how much honey can you friggin' eat?
You got to Pooh Bear it out of the.
Yeah. We love Pooh Bear around here, by the way.
This is the proper Pooh Bear motion, elbows up.
Alex, that is not a good way to eat honey. How are you going to clean your hands?
Yeah, true. How do the bears do it?
They're bears. Exactly. Exactly.
That's just a big dog. Let me pet that dog.
Do bears even eat honey?
I don't know. I guess they do, because that's like the whole thing.
Bears eat anything.
Oh, well, there you go.
I think bears eat anything. I don't know. Guys, look at this. Is one of the stickers that we developed. And here, let me lay it closer. Right, it's Pooh with a dab rig, and there's something in that jar. Right now, this is, by the way, this is not copyright infringement. What's it called when we can use that stuff? Public domain.
And Pooh.
Right. If you're ever in China, do not show this picture. Okay, the Xi Jinping, he's the president of China. They make fun of him a lot over there, and they call him Pooh Bear. He will literally put your ass in jail.
And they disappear. President Xi.
But Pooh was one of my favorite things as a child. My brother too. But this is just one of the things that I've done over the years. You know, I'm not an artist, but my producer's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very good artist. And she is responsible for any of this stuff here working. Because, dude, I don't know how this stuff works. right? All these electronics. The older I get, the less I understand about the world, and this is one of them, right? So, anyway, let's move on to some more topics here, guys. We are going to have a section of the show called Cannabis and Health Myth versus Facts. I have, Alex, every day somebody comes in here who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? They come in here and they try to tell me my business, right? But there's been so much misinformation put out there about weed that it has affected everybody. Your parents, right? The boomers, they were lied to their entire lives about marijuana, right? My mother, for instance, who was a complete convert now.
Mm.
She is a weed lover at this stage.
Absolutely, and weed educator. But if I don't mention, for years when I come in here, you guys are always educating about weed and stuff.
Did your parents ever find something that was weed related when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
What did they do to you?
I got punished bad. I was grounded for a long time, long time. I remember almost passing out at that time. Exactly, like my dad tunnel vision. I was like, I was gonna pass out. I was like 13 years old.
Yeah. I tried weed for the first time in this town right here, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and I can't name the guy that gave it to me. He's a very good friend of mine. If you're out there, buddy, I'm gonna just let me see. Can I give his initials so he knows? I can't. I'm not gonna say anything, bro. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you a link to the show, and when you get to this part, you know I'm talking about you. Because man, it was like I had discovered fire when I smoked weed for the first time. I was like, oh, this is what the dare people were talking about. They are liars,
right?
Because this is great.
And it makes you think, oh, everything that they've taught us so far is bullshit, and what else isn't bullshit?
Right.
And a lot of time, yes.
Look, the mood and mind-altering substances can be very beneficial, right? Have you heard of the proliferation of ketamine, for example?
Yes. There's a guy I used to work with who was like, you got to go see this doctor. He'll talk to you and he'll give you ketamine.
Yes.
I'm like,
ketamine, psilocybin is now being used.
Shroom moms.
Exactly. Mind-altering substances are not necessarily bad. They can literally help your brain maintain stasis, right? And when I'm talking about stasis, I'm just talking about feeling good and being generally happy.
Normality.
Right, normality, right? And a lot of times I'll have customers come in here and they're chasing a feeling, right? They're like, man, I'm anxious, I got pain or whatever. People come here looking for help because the medical establishment that the United States has built and proliferated, they do not care about making you well, right? They care about making sure that you are coming back and using the healthcare system. So when people reach the end of that road, they come here. They have no options left, and there are things I have like kratom, CBD, right? There's some legal mushrooms, right? These things, first of all, they're not pharmaceuticals. Can be considered drugs, but they're not pharmaceuticals, right? And they are natural products, Alex.
Yeah.
A natural product, if you can find a natural product that will take care of your issue, man, that's loads better than taking some shit made by Big Pharma, okay? Because over a lifetime, any of these medicines, Tylenol, ibuprofen, that shit hurts your body in the long run.
Yeah, I know Tylenol and stuff will hurt your liver and things like this. Yeah.
So,
and I've heard about kratom as a aid for opioid withdrawal.
Oh yeah. Dude, guys, I've seen some really messed up people come in, and sometimes they are former heroin addicts or current heroin addicts, and they've heard something about kratom, which I'm now an expert in kratom. I didn't intend to become an expert in kratom, but it helps people, first of all. And what you're talking about, Alex, kratom, it lands at the same receptor sites that opiates does. Right? So what I tell people is that instead of rocking your receptor sites like an opiate would, which makes you go through withdrawal and all that, kratom can fit into the same receptor sites, but not as deleterious to the system. Do you know what deleterious means?
Not as like
That's okay.
perfectly.
We're not going to tell Alex what deleterious means. It means harmful to the system.
Okay.
Harmful to the system, right?
Okay.
So it is still addictive, right? Anything can be addictive if it's not used correctly. Anything can be abused, right? We know these things.
Absolutely.
Anything can be abused.
But a lot of people don't realize, like, even food is one of these. You know what I mean? When you see
Oh.
people, and you can tell, like, by the way they handle food or whether,
Mhm.
like, there's addictions on many levels. Yeah, and most of us have them, but
Well,
some are accepted.
There's one food additive that's the most addictive drug on the planet.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Sugar.
Bro, sugar is hard. Sugar is harder to come off than any drug, right? Because you go through a lot of the same things when you start sugar withdrawal, right? Body temperature, the shakes, irritability. That is the same thing you go through with many drug withdrawals, right? So anything can be a drug and anything can be abused, guys. Don't let anybody tell you different, because there are a lot of substances out there that if you take them like a human or a normal person and not one of these freakazoids, we're Americans, guys. We overdo things. But if you use some of these things correctly, you can get help.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what a lot of my day is, right? There's two sides to the store we're sitting in, guys. There's the glass side, which is where all of the accessories are, and then there's the other side where I sell hemp products, CBD, and kratom. Slowly but surely, one side of the store took over, right? It is this side,
Wow.
right? Because people need help, man. And the world is getting so crazy now. Everybody is anxious. Everybody's anxious, dude. So, I became my own kind of medicine man, I guess I'd say. And Alex and I, now that we've lived a bunch of life, I would consider us young wise men, right? Because once you get our age and you have wisdom, right?
Coming off a drug or getting over drugs and getting back to normal life gives you at least 5 wisdom points.
Yeah,
for sure.
Wisdom.
Plus 5 percentage points wisdom. It's like Madden.
Don't start talking about video games. You're gonna take me completely off the tangent. Guys, I love video games. My producer used to work for me, and she doesn't play a lot of video games, but guess what? She had to suffer through every video game I played, because the first thing I do when I got in here is talk to her about it. And she's very good. She's very good at kind of, oh yeah, but she really tried to act like she was listening, and I appreciate her for that. My wife goes through the same stuff. Poor woman. But dude, I have a lot of varied interests. Okay.
Same. That means you're a healthy person.
It does. So, guys, we are kind of reaching the end of our recording time here. But what I want to get across to you is that this show is necessary. The information that we are going to impart on you is necessary. And we're going to try and package it in a way that makes it entertaining, right? But if you want to be an educated cannabis consumer, you're going to need the stuff we talked about, because you need to vote with your dollar. Okay? And what I mean is that you need to spend your money with the people that are growing weed in an ethical manner, that are using their employees the way the law says, right? That is not anti-union, is not anti-employee, is not trying to make sure that the other guy can't sell any weed, right?
And it's not $75 for an eighth or whatever. Right? Yeah, that's the. I feel like that's what everybody. You go into the dispensary, $75 eighth, like, ooh,
$100 gram of wax.
Okay.
These prices are crazy, folks, and we're going to talk about why these prices are crazy. They're artificial. They are artificially inflated. Chris Christie, you fucking asshole. When you put together this corporate weed system that is now being exported to other states so we can fuck up their market, Weed comes from the earth, right? You should not need a license to grow this. Because if you are growing it, it's not going to harm you. It's not a heroin plant. So we have to destigmatize weed and get the corporate influence out, guys. And there's a number of ways you can do that. We're going to teach you how. I'm going to tell them one way now. Do you know who grows your weed? Probably not.
No.
Okay. Listen, if you can find out who grows your weed, like if you're got a new brand, right, that's like a dispensary, and if you go to that brand's website, okay, and you can see the people that work there, that own it, right? If you can know the person that grows your weed, I had to fix Alex's shirt.
There it goes.
If you can find the person that grows your weed, that might be a good company that you want to try, man, because I want to know the face, the person, their history, and why I should choose their brand over another brand. Because not all weed is created equal. You could give the same weed seed to two different companies. The strain will be the same, but the effects will be different, right? There are so many growing methods that influence your end product, right? Soil grown, hydroponics. There's kind of a hybrid of the two. There are so many ways to grow weed out there. You get varying qualities, and the way that the big corps do it is the cheapest, largest, fastest way they can do it. Right? They prefer strains that they can get grown in like 2 months. How long does it take to grow a weed plant?
Well, I don't know. I guess a few months is what I heard growing up.
Is right. A few months is right. It takes about 3 months. Three or 4 months, because you got your there's stages, and I'll talk about this too. Listen, civil disobedience. Grow weed at home. Do not listen to these. Grow some fucking weed at home. Because first, it's fun. Here's another fun fact, Alex. I have never successfully grown a weed plant.
Okay.
I've killed everything I've ever tried to grow.
I heard it's difficult, but
It's
I'm
not easy.
fascinated by like the whole tents or like the kits that come. You know what I mean? You can buy.
Those work.
Yeah.
They even have like these fridge-looking things where it's like all automated. Those things work.
Everything. Yeah, you shut the door and hit the button and walk away and come back 3 months. And
They can take care of the smell sometimes.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So, guys, grow weed at home. But don't come to me if you need money for bail or anything else if you get caught, because that,
Are you still not allowed to grow it at home in Jersey, or as long as it's less than 3 plants?
There's no home grow, which is ridiculous.
In most states, it's like you can have 3 ounces.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they assume that everybody will start growing weed at home. No, those will be mostly dead plants, right? It's difficult, and there's no. Why should I have to pay $70 an eighth when I could grow it at home? Right?
Well, unless you're Method Man in How High, because he was a genius with it.
One of my favorite movies.
His friends or somebody's ashes ended up in it, and that's what gave him the powers.
It did. Every time he smoked that plant, his friend would come back.
That's it. His friend's ashes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did that once. Just kidding. But
keep getting us off topic.
Alex, that's your job.
What about Method Man?
Yeah. Alex's job is to get me off topic. Okay, because listen, I'm boring. All right. You're supposed to get me off topic because that's where the fun comes in.
True. All right.
So interject, my friend. Interject. Make side comments. That's what you're here for. That is what you're here for. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today. Right? We expect to see you at our premiere. This one was kind of a promotional episode here. We got to work out the kinks, right? Because we had to start somewhere, right? And it's a little rough. I could tell. Like I think Alex's camera is a little lower quality than mine. You guys see that? Anyway. We are going to fix that, okay? And if you guys watch, we will become better every time, okay? So if you're seeing this or a clip of this on your social media or whatever, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have a lot of fun around here, guys, and we're gonna rip the lid off the bullshit in the cannabis industry.
Yep.
And our first guest, I can't tell you our first guest because I have the list, but I haven't called this person yet. So let me shut up because I'm getting ahead of the gun. We will see you next time. Alex and I, if you are hearing this before 4/20/2024, which is about 6 days away. We're gonna be out at Daylight Dispensary next week, just for a little bit. So if you want to come visit us, say hi, pick up a pipe, we will be there for a little bit. Please, if you have any what's the word?
Oh, criticism.
Criticism. God, I'm gonna do that a lot, guys. If you have any criticism, please write it down. We want to get better, and we want to be your place for cannabis information. So thank you very much
Thank you. Thank you.
for tuning in today. We will be back very soon. Alex, thank you so much, bro. You have no idea. You have no idea. We'll see you next week, guys. Well, yeah, we'll see you at Daylight. Oh, God, I'm an idiot.
I'll see you next time. Yeah.
Bye-bye.